And this is the 7:34 from WCCO. Now we are about to head out the door, maybe head to work, so let's get you started with today's weather. We have possibly some snow showers later this afternoon, light mixed, windy at times until then. 37 degrees is what we're topping out at today. Keep those clouds coming around today and through the night, 34 degrees. All right, now let's talk about this. More states are reporting new cases of coronavirus, or COVID-19 was what health officials are calling it. Still no confirmed cases in Minnesota, but health officials have said to prepare for a possible outbreak. Adding to those concerns, schools around here are about to go on spring break, so that means a lot of families may be traveling. We want to know, how worried are you about COVID-19? You've heard it nonstop. Is this something that you're possibly canceling any upcoming trips over? Are you one of those people stocking up on supplies, some hand sanitizer, some food? Saw the Costco ran out of some toilet paper and for a day or so. I don't know. Or are you just going on with your life and maybe just washing your hands a few more times a day than usual? What do you think? Those watching on Facebook, leave us a comment and we'll get through a few of those in just a moment. Sticking with the COVID-19 story, Vice President Mike Pence travels to Minnesota today to talk about the virus. Pence is touring 3M in Maplewood to see how the company is creating protective gear for COVID-19. After that, the Vice President heads to Washington State as it responds to a deadly outbreak. Pence canceled his appearance at a campaign rally in downtown St. Paul tonight, but his wife Karen will headline it now in his place. California is under a state of emergency after reporting its first death and the first outside of Washington state. The man was on this cruise ship that you just saw. Several passengers were on an earlier cruise with the man. Nearly 24 are showing symptoms of the virus. The ship is being held off the coast of San Francisco, so health officials can screen people on board there. We've learned 2 University of Minnesota students are in self-quarantine because they came in contact with someone who tested positive for COVID-19 during a trip to Europe. The students landed at MSP on Tuesday. They were allowed to get on the flight because they weren't showing any symptoms themselves, but still putting themselves in a self-quarantine there. At the state capitol, Minnesota lawmakers held their first public hearing on COVID-19. The Minnesota Department of Health is asking for $40 million to battle an outbreak. That includes $4 million for personal protective equipment for health workers and first responders. The state is also investing in deep cleaning. The U.S. House approved $8 billion in emergency funding to combat the outbreak. Should college athletes in Minnesota be paid to play? That's a question that bipartisan group of legislators announced over a bill that would do just that. If passed, it would go into effect in Minnesota starting January 2023. The bill would allow student athletes to be compensated for using their name, image, or likeness.
Those players on the field, on the court, on the rink, whether it's women or men, lacrosse, soccer, football, or basketball, they're entitled to their fair share of this.
California already passed a similar law. At least 15 other states are now considering legislation. The NCAA says this fall it will open the door to allowing pay-for-play athletes and for athletes to hire agents, but so far specifics on how that would work out have not been finalized. The boys state hockey tournament continues at the X today. Really fun time. The Class AA tournament kicks off later this morning. 11 a.m. It's Blake against Maple Grove, followed by Eden Prairie and Lakeville South. St. Thomas Academy, Andover, Hill Murray, and Moorhead also play today. An important recall for IKEA shoppers. 820,000 Cullen 3-drawer chests have been recalled for safety concerns. They can tip over and crush kids if they're not anchored into a wall. Customers can get a refund or a repair kit. How much would you pay for a good babysitter? Well, a new survey shows it can be pretty expensive. The booking service Urban Sitter says the national average for 1 hour of babysitting is almost $18 for one child. Add another kid to the mix, it usually goes for about $20 to $30 per hour. Good news though, it's a bit cheaper in the Twin Cities. The average here for one child is $14 and only about $1 more for 2 kids. Good deal in the Twin Cities. All right, St. Paul Mayor Melvin Carter and his wife, Sakina, welcome their 6th child, a baby girl named Amila Carter. The mayor says he and his wife are taking some time away from work to focus on the newest member of their family. Congratulations to them. Alex Trebek, meanwhile, has marked his one-year battle against pancreatic cancer. He posted an update online.
Now, I'd be lying if I said the journey had been an easy one. There were some good days, but a lot of not so good days. I joked with friends that the cancer won't kill me, the chemo treatments will. There were moments of
Trebek also said there have been moments of pain and depression. He's 79 years old and continues hosting Jeopardy while he's battling pancreatic cancer. Trebek ended his update urging people to keep positive attitudes and promising to keep everyone posted. Daredevil Nick Wallenda survived his most dangerous high wire walk yet. It was his longest and highest stunt yet, and he was definitely feeling the heat. Wallenda put himself over an active volcano in Nicaragua. Why not, right? The wire was 1,800 feet long, 1 whole inch wide, and partially stretched over liquid hot magma. He had to wear a mask to protect himself from toxic fumes. Took him 31 minutes to cross, and at the end, he actually jogged the last few feet to solid land. Wow, amazing. Big news from the music world overnight. Pop star Katy Perry released a new music video and has some big news at the end of it. She's pregnant. The 35-year-old shows off a baby bump in the final moments of the video for her single Never Worn White. It's a love song to fiancé Orlando Bloom. It's Perry's first child and Bloom's second. Lady Gaga is going back on tour, but you'll have to travel to see her. She announced the Chromatica Ball overnight. Just 6 stops this summer and only 4 in the U.S. Those stops are Boston, Chicago, and New Jersey.
You're such a gaslighter, denier.
Yeah, remember these chicks? The Dixie Chicks have released their first single in more than a decade. It's called Gaslighter. It's a big, bold song about divorce and moving on. That's also the name of their new album, their first album in 14 years. Let's get back to today's talker. We're bringing in WCCO's digital guy, Cole. Cole, what are people saying about COVID-19?
Yeah, we have Beth saying good morning. We just canceled our San Antonio, Texas trip and made it to Padre Island instead.
Okay, well, that's a good trade-off.
Yeah, and then we have Kimberly saying, I'm not worried, it is what it is. Cindy saying, I'm trying to wash my hands every chance I get and point my face away from anyone near me who may be coughing. Stocking up on perishables might be a good idea within reason.
Sure. Within reason, I think, is a pretty key word there with stuff selling out, you know. Make sure there's enough to go around.
And then we have Becca saying, not worried. We do the same things we do to prevent a cold or flu. No plans to go anywhere anyways, so we're good.
Yeah, and that's really what it comes down to is while you're at it, why not just try and prevent the cold and the flu since it's cold and flu season anyways.
Yeah, just practice those good practices.
Definitely. Yep. Wash your hands, Cole.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Will.
Appreciate it. That's it for now. This is the 734 from WCCO. We know most of the Twin Cities are on the go, so while you're at it, go ahead and make us your place for mobile news. We'll be back here tomorrow at 7:34, and until then, enjoy the internet.